Well, your family's always number one. Brisbane's 96.5. It is Ilya. Well, real estate, it's one of those things you're either buying, selling or looking. To tell us more about the real estate game, I've got Virginia Henery talking to us from Remax Territory. Virginia, how are you?
Good, Ilya. How are you going?
Yeah, very well. Bit of a minefield whether you're buying or selling, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's a lot to consider.
Now, if you're thinking about selling your property, maybe you've been driving around your local street or suburb and you've noticed a house for sale, you're thinking about possibly selling yours. What's some of the first steps you should go through?
Probably one of the first things you want to do is actually get an agent in and get them to have a look at how your house is currently at the moment. You want to get an idea of what your house would be valued at so that you know what you can actually go out and spend on what you're buying. When they do that, you'd like to actually get them to come out and let you know what you could possibly even do to improve your property so that you can get the maximum benefit from selling it as far as attracting buyers and actually the profit that you can actually make from selling your property. A lot of the shows that you might see on TV with improving your house and everything, there's lots of good ideas that you can have on improving your house, but what you want to do is concentrate on what is actually going to be the most beneficial for you and your buyers.
Now, Virginia, you've been passionate about real estate for some time, but not just about real estate.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've come from a bit of a big property background. My parents actually began when I was young as builders, and they've been in the industry ever since. They've moved from that into owning their own real estate company. So I've pretty much grown up with building and the property industry, and I've always been very interested in it. I've actually owned and modified and sold plenty of my own properties. I also started working with my parents, firstly as a buyer's agent. So I really just concentrated on what the buyers were looking for, asking lots of questions to make sure that I could match a house that would be just right for them. And I was quite successful in doing it, and I attribute that to the fact that I really listened to what they wanted. So I've seen it from both sides of the buying and the selling, and I've seen the whole process. I've also been involved in management rights business as well. I worked in that for a little while. I just love real estate and everything to do with it.
So, Virginia, what are some tips for those people thinking about selling their property?
Get an agent in and then walk through your whole property and look at it through the eyes of a buyer. Pretend that that's not your house. Detach all emotional attachment that you have from your house and walk through with a fresh pair of eyes thinking, what would you be looking for if that wasn't your house and you were thinking of actually buying this house? What would the things that you would notice? Little things like having too many photos on the wall of your whole family and things like that, it's not actually going to help you sell your property. So you want to keep it as neutral as possible. So you might love the hot fuchsia pink wall on your bedroom, but you may be limiting the market. So little things like that you just want to make sure that you're not limiting your exposure to anybody. You're not going to put anybody off to actually come to your property and have a look at it.
There's always tricks, aren't there?
Yeah, there sure is. There's plenty of things you've got to keep in mind. Another thing too is that you have to be aware of safety. So anything that there might be loose or cracked tiles in your house, you do want to get that fixed because anybody who steps on your property, you're liable for that. Most people do, under their building insurance, will have public liability insurance as well. That's really important to make sure that you do have that because if you do have a broken tile, for example, and someone slips on it, they can actually sue you because they're on your property. So things like that are also really important to consider.
Hey, Virginia, thanks for joining us.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for your time, Ilya.